Joined today by Addyson Lewis, a sophomore on the volleyball team. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Dolphin Tales Podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be here.
Well, this normally would be a situation in which you and I were chatting and maybe discussing how, as you're entering your sophomore season, how you've adapted to college life and athletics and all that. But here you have so many unknowns thrown at you again. You go through a coaching change. You go through, obviously, a global pandemic that has completely turned the sports world upside down. How are you adapting to all the kind of curveballs that the sports life is throwing at you here?
I'm adapting pretty well, actually. The very beginning, it was a little rough at first whenever we thought we would be coming back after spring break to getting into the swing of things, but we didn't. But the coaches have been really helpful, and then I'm super glad that they're here. Everything is going great. The transition from not being here for several months to getting right back into volleyball, even though we might not have our season, it's gone really well, actually, and I'm just glad that we still get to practice and lift weights and everything like normal.
What did that look like in the spring, right before you went on to spring break? Coach Kuchar had been hired about a month or so before, had a chance to maybe get to know her a tiny bit, right, before everything got shut down?
Right. We had a few meetings, and then we had a few individuals, not very many. So on the volleyball aspect, it wasn't very much, but getting to know her and her open up and tell us about her background, and then just getting to practice with her, it was really nice, actually. It was a good little section before we had to go away.
And then throughout the entire time in which you all are gone, you're getting creative, right? Zoom, group chats, I'm sure, to get to know each other better throughout the course of the time away from school.
Right. We had Zoom meetings every week, and then we actually kind of had a mini book club. She emailed us 2 books to everyone, and so we started reading a few chapters per week, and it was about a culture code, so a better way to build our culture and then kind of use those aspects, whether it's belonging cues or just acknowledging each other and being open to their differences, and just getting to use that once we get back on the court. So I think having that large group chat over the summer really built us up as a team, and it made us get to know each other more. So once we got here in school, we just kind of went right into it.
So what were the 2 books?
It was the Culture Code and then Chop Wood and Carry Water.
Okay.
So they were both relating on the same thing, different instances, like different examples, whether it was job related or volleyball, or the Chop Wood and Carry Water was about a Karate Kid and how he had to start off in the very base. It's kind of similar to the movie. You had to do the hands and everything and painting before you could actually get into it. But just kind of life lessons and just how you can implement that into your own life and within a group.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. All right, so fast forward. Well, before I guess we get right back on to how things have gone since you've got back to campus, what did you do personally? You're from Florida, so you went home. You didn't have too far to go, but how did you handle, trying to stay in shape and all that throughout the course of the last several months when you were missing some of those workout times that you would have normally had?
Right. So at first it was a little difficult. It's not like I could just go to a gym and get my hands on a ball or in the gym. But my brother and I would actually pepper, and we would play volleyball almost every day. It's one of his favorite things to do outside of baseball, so we had fun with that. So I got a few touches. Obviously, it wasn't as difficult as if I was in a gym setting, but we would do that outside in the yard. Or once the gym started to open up, I would go and I would start lifting with my dad and my brother. So we kind of came up with our own little workout routine, and we would go 3 times a week. And so I was able to get my hands on lifts and kind of volleyball in a way, but it definitely wasn't as strenuous as it would be here.
How was lifting with dad and brother? I mean, was that a complete change, or had you guys maybe done some of that before?
We've done some a little bit, but they definitely pushed me, and I did the same for them. So it's kind of just back and forth, but I actually really enjoyed it. My brother and my dad were both super competitive. So my brother would always try and get stronger to lift the same weight as me, and it would be a constant battle, but it was really fun.
That's great. I mean, having the opportunity, obviously, to spend so much more time around family, one of the positives, if you can call it that, from the last several months. But then, you know how it is with workouts. It's so much better when you got somebody to push you and guide you and work with you the whole time. All right, so you were working the Lewis family workout plan over the course of the summer. Then you get back on campus. What has the time been like for you since coming back onto campus, starting classes again, and, of course, starting volleyball workouts again?
It's definitely it took a little bit to get back into the swing of things just for being gone for however many months it was. But classes are going well. I'm a nursing major, so I had to get back in it right away. And then for lift, we lift 3 times a week, and then we have sand conditioning on Mondays at 6:30 in the morning. So that's a little tough, but Caitlin pushes us well, and she knows our strengths and weaknesses. So we get pushed towards that. And then lift, or that was normal. But we started practicing. We have individuals. They're like 30 minutes every day except Wednesdays and Sundays. And then on Saturdays, we have team practices. So it's not like everything is together as a big group, but with those small groups, we're able to focus on the little things that will make it easier once we get into the spring semester when we can go full on as a team.
Nursing major, I imagine there's a handful, if not more, of those classes that are hands-on. Like you have to, right? Are you in person for some of these, or how many of them are in person versus in an online setting?
So I have 5 classes, and only 2 are in person right now, including a lab. And so most of them are switched online. It definitely makes it more difficult, but luckily my lab is still in person. We're doing half and half. So half we're actually doing the in-lab portion, and then the other half we're doing it online. So that's a little bit different. But I have my TEAS test for nursing school on Monday. And so everything is due on the 25th. So hopefully I get into the actual program. We'll find that out soon. So it's a little bit stressful right now, but I'm balancing it well.
Well, best of luck with that, of course.
Thank you.
Want to see nothing but good things as far as that goes, so you can continue the dream. What drew you to nursing? Why do you want to do that?
I've always wanted to care for people and help, even whenever I was really younger. But my dad is a CRNA, so he does anesthesia. So that's what I want to push to do. His sister and her husband both do it also. So I was like, hey, connections maybe. But so that's what I want to do. So nursing school and then residency and hopefully anesthesia school. So we'll see how that goes.
A little bit of a family tradition there, if you will.
A little bit, yeah.
What drew you to the sport of volleyball? How did you get involved? When did you start playing, and what do you love about it?
I actually started really late. I used to do competitive cheerleading and dancing my whole life. I started that when I was around 2 years old. And then I got to middle school, and my coach was like, maybe you should start thinking about playing volleyball. And I was like, I never thought of it, but I'll try it now. So I started my freshman year of high school, and I was not good at all. It was a total transition. But I worked every day. My entire summers were spent going to camps or extra lessons. I think my junior year that summer, I spent probably a week at my house. The rest of it was going to camps, just trying to get my name out there because I had such a late start.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the fact that I get to be here now after only playing, my 6th year here now, it's insane, but I enjoy it a lot.
Do you find that any of that background in competitive cheer and dance has helped you in your volleyball career?
Definitely. I think flexibility and then just range of motion and balance definitely helps. And then also just building up the muscle before I came here. So that helps a lot. I find it a little bit easier, depending on situations, but I think it helps in a way. But if I could go back, I definitely would have started volleyball a lot sooner.
What days are longer? Some of these tournament days in which you're competing in a volleyball tournament in which multiple games in a day, or those competitive cheer and dance days which seemingly go from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
I think it definitely depends, honestly. Cheer routines, even though it's such a short amount of time that you're actually competing, all the work that goes into it to prepare is probably longer. But I just love the tournaments, the scene around it, just the crowd, and then just everyone on the court. You hear thousands of whistles at one time. It's definitely thrilling, I guess.
It's a whole kind of different type of environment, but it's
exactly.
still similar in the fact that you're still kind of feeding off of the reception of your teammates, of a crowd, of response. What if you all are playing in the spring and maybe there's little to no people allowed in to watch you all in Swisher this year, wherever the games may be played? How will you try and channel some of that emotion regardless of not having the fan support?
I think if we don't have the fan support, so honestly, it's easier to feed off of that energy. But if we don't have that, we'll just have to come together as a team and bring that to make up for it. But I think with the team that we have this year, it'll be easy to do that.
What really stands out about this group coming together for a first time that you've noticed in these first couple of weeks that you've been physically together?
We're definitely all outgoing. We did a personality test a few weeks ago, and there's several of us that it's called consoles. So we're all extroverted. We care about others and all of that kind of thing. There's 16 different aspects that go into it. but I feel like we're all on the same page and we're ready to work. And then it's just really fun being around them. If someone makes a good kill, whether it's across the court or for like right beside them, we scream and we just go crazy. So I think the bond that we have this year is definitely better, and we're just all ready to, go head first into whatever we have to do.
So a team full of extroverts, communication should not be an issue, right?
It should not, no.
What is one thing that has stood out to you about this new coaching staff so far?
The way that they are open with us, I would say. They are constantly coaching us, whether it's big aspects or something very small. They point out the small details that actually mean a lot. And so if you're not used to getting that, it definitely helps you out. Just the way that they are open and communicating with us, that's different than what I've seen lately, and it's very helpful, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, hopefully you get a chance in the spring to get out there and play some competitive games. It's been a weird year, and it continues to be a weird one, but all you can do is make the most of it now, and it's great that you all are able to get together on campus and at the very least work together as a team and grow together as a team, right?
Right. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we do get to play, but if not, I'm just thankful for the experience that we have and how we can still practice and play together.
No doubt about it. Addyson Lewis, sophomore member of the volleyball team, my guest today on the Dolphin Tales podcast. Thanks so much for joining me and chatting here today.
Yeah, thank you.